Hello, David St. James here with Knipex Tools, bringing you another video for a new exciting product for here brought to you by Knipex Tools. This is actually going to be another exclusive set to Matco. Here today we're going to talk about our 7-inch spring hose clamp pliers and our 7-inch click clamp plier, which the part number on this set is going to be SPH7. Individually, the spring hose clamp plier will be PHC7 and the click clamp plier will be PHCC7. Now, the biggest thing with the 7-inch version is, of course, being a smaller plier, it's allowing you to get into tighter spaces and give you greater access overall. Most of you are familiar with both of our 10-inch versions. Well, now you have the exclusivity on the 7-inch version individually and in the set. Now, the rotatable jaw tips, which are also replaceable, the rotatable jaw tips are going to give you more versatility in the tool and allow you to invert when you're down in the motor and you don't have a lot of room to remove the clamp. You can actually invert the tool, you can turn it sideways, and that's the point of those 360-degree rotatable jaw tips. Now, the box joint built into the plier, just like the Cobra plier, is going to give you increased stability, thus making it a stronger tool all around. You also have here a built-in pinch guard that's going to prevent you from smacking your fingers or smashing your hands. And then also, just like the Cobra, you have the push button lever that's going to allow you to have greater access depending on the application. Lastly, you have the dipped handles, which are slip resistant, providing you more of an ergonomic grip and comfortability. Okay, just like our 7-inch spring hose clamp pliers, we also have our 7-inch click clamp pliers. Now, very similar design here. The only difference is going to be in the tips because these are specifically designed for click clamps. Now, the tips, again, are rotatable 360 degrees as well as replaceable, just like its counterpart, the spring hose clamp pliers. The biggest difference, again, is in the tips, and you only want to use these for click clamps. So in the 7-inch spring hose clamps, again, depending on the size of the spring hose clamps, the clamp that I need to remove or put on, I can use my push button to adjust as such. These rotatable tips are really nice because it really gives me a versatile tool to work with depending on what angle I need to get. You can use these pliers for all types of spring hose clamps, big or small. And you can also operate one-handed. Okay, easy to remove and replace. And again, if I needed to go at a different angle, I can invert the tool here. Go from the side, easily remove and replace. And again, those rotatable tips allow me to move when I'm actually on the spring hose clamp. Lastly, the feature that I think is really neat is the hose removal. And that is at the back of the jaw here, where I can open up and get at my hose here. And I have teeth in the back, but they're not too sharp where they're going to damage the hose if I need to remove it once I remove the spring clamp. The 7-inch version of the spring hose clamp pliers actually have quite the range. They have over a 1-inch clamping range, and they can work with up to 2-inch spring hose clamps. So now I'm going to show you guys a quick demo on the click clamp plier. Again, click clamps, as I mentioned before, can be very stubborn. They're typically found around the hosing on high-end vehicles, a lot of your luxury cars like Audis, Volvos, Maseratis, even some BMWs and Mercedes. So the key with the click clamp plier is you want the right tool for the right job every time, right? So with the click clamp plier, we're able to remove and replace these click clamps with ease, which we can prevent damaging the hose or breaking the clamp, thus cutting down on causing more expense for the technician or the vehicle owner. So when we go into the side here, there's 2 different types of click clamps, okay? And I'm going to show you how to remove both. This first one here, you got to make sure your jaws are lined up correctly. Again, rotatable tips. And all you're going to do is go on the side here and clamp down. It's going to remove the clip. Okay? Once you take the click clamp off, you have access to the hosing. You can replace them very easily if you say you're putting the same one back on, or maybe you're putting a new one on. Again, rotatable tips, so depending on where I'm at in the engine, I could invert them, I could rotate the tips where I need to. Of course, I have plenty of room now, so I'm just going to go on straight on. And I can squeeze and reclamp that click clamp. On the other side, it's a little bit of a different clip, but the same type of clamp. I'm going to rotate the jaws opposite of one another. and you'll see they fit in perfectly with these click clamps. And I'll squeeze and release, and again remove that click clamp. I could turn it or put it back on here and go at the opposite direction and clamp it back. So very simple tool to use. Definitely a necessary one to have in the toolbox for guys that run into these click clamps. Again, preventing breaking them and causing more cost to the job. So there you have it, a new two-piece set brought to you from Knipex, co-branded with Matco. This will be an exclusive set for you at Matco, and they can also be sold individually. The part number on the set is going to be SPH7, and individually, the spring hose clamp pliers, the part number will be PHC7, and for the click clamp pliers, the part number will be PHCC7. Again, both have rotatable, replaceable tips, and they're 7 inches long.